Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joni Young, acrylic artist and instructor. Today it's all about spring. I'm going to be teaching you how to paint cherry blossoms. We'll be working on an 11 by 14 canvas. First you will need black and white and a large blending brush. Let's pull into the white, then a bit of black. Beginning with the outside of the canvas and pulling towards the center, spread the black and white paint around. So let's continue to paint the canvas, getting closer to the center, but don't paint over it. We want to leave that part white. We're slowly going to begin creating a soft circle in the center of the canvas, making it smaller and smaller, round and around, continuously bringing your brush around. Now let's go ahead and take some white, load both sides very well. Start around. Without taking your brush off, keep going around in soft circles. Leaving it brightest in the center for your moon. Continue adding white till it's really bright in the center. Now switching over to a liner brush of your choice, whatever you feel comfortable with. No water, roll it around and twist it in the black paint. Make sure you have more on the very tip of your brush. We're going to start at the top right, pull and go around. Continue adding more and more branches in the same direction so that they wrap around the moon. They'll be darkest and thickest at the top. Remember, if you want them to be thicker, you'll push harder with a brush, and for skinnier ones, you'll let off and use just the tip very lightly. Now let's make it quite thick there at the top where the branch is bigger, and then let off and make them skinnier while rolling and twisting your brush and pulling lightly, very softly around that moon. Continue adding as many as you like. For today's video and demonstration purposes, I'm going to be painting more than I normally would, just so you guys get a really good idea of how I'm using that brush and how I'm painting them. Pick up some white with the black in your brush, roll it around and make a light gray color. We're going to start creating some highlights. We're placing the highlight on the inside of each branch so that it looks like the moonlight is hitting it. You might need more white in some areas depending on the color of your background. So I'm using more white right here just so that it really shows up. I'm going to come in and add a little bit more black where I need to. I accidentally put a little bit too much white over top of some of them. And maybe I'll bring in a few more, just little branches here and there. So carefully keep them going in that same direction. Okay, let's begin working on our flowers. We're going to need a small filbert brush, no water, and titanium white. Wiggle it around and make sure you have a lot on the tip of your brush to work with. Push with the rounded part of your brush on the outside of the petal. Now I would do at least 5 little petals. If you can't fit 5, it's okay to just put 4. And don't be afraid of overlapping them either. Make them all different sizes. I like to make them larger in the foreground, of course, because they're closer to us, so they're going to appear larger. And then as they get closer to the end of the branch, there might be just a few little buds that haven't even blossomed yet, so I just do little dots. And then where it's bright white in the center, the white paint's not going to show up enough there, so I'm adding a little bit of black to create a gray shade so that it shows up. So let's add just a few more to the center of the canvas, and then we'll start bringing in some more white flowers. You can dab the center with a little bit of white to make it pop out. When you want your flower petals to be larger, push flat, wiggle, and then pull and let off in the center. Now see how much paint I'm working with? Where you want them to be brighter, add it on the very end of your brush and dab it on. So we're going to add quite a few of them. We need to really fill it up. It looks so pretty when you have lots of flowers in there. So it's going to take some time. You've got to have some patience for this. Now for the center of the flowers, you're going to need a small liner brush and straight black paint. Dip the tip of your brush into it and make little tiny dots in the very center of each flower. And if you don't have enough room for more than one dot, then you can just put one there. So I'm thinking I want to add a few little wiggly branches here and there too, some really skinny ones. So I'm just wiggling very lightly, not a lot of paint on my brush. Wiggle, wiggle. I'm kind of twirling it in between my fingers. I don't know if you guys can see that. So again, it's all about how much you want. You can put more in if you like. You can even make them look like they're overlapping and curling over one another to really make it look 3D. And then add a few little highlights too. So here I'm kind of making it look like it's twisting over. So pull and wiggle and turn your brush. I want to start bringing in some more flowers again and really fill this up. So remember, if you want to, when you want to make smaller flowers, you're not going to push as hard as when you're making larger ones. When you push hard, those petals are going to be bigger, and when you're hardly pushing at all, they're just going to be a lot smaller. The trick is to flick lightly on the end to make them skinnier as they gradually come into the center of the flower. So let's continue to add these flowers around. Then once we're happy with the amount that we've got and we want to start adding some color, we'll dry it off first, and then I'll pick out my brightest pink for you guys and then come in with a neon orange after. But like I said, black and white, this looks pretty. You could leave it just like this, but I wanted to give you guys that option so you can decide what you like and what it would look like to come over top with color after. Okay, we're all finished those flowers now. Let's take the liner brush and the black paint again. Using the tip of your brush only, you're going to tap, tap, tap little dots in the center of each flower. Okay, I just want to add a few more little branches there, and now we're going to dry it off. So make sure that it's completely dry before you come in with the color over top. Taking neon pink from Holbein. It's transparent, which makes it perfect for this project we're working on today. Using a large blending brush, a little bit of water, I'm going to start coming around from the edges, the corner of the canvas, and lightly blending back and forth. I'm going to stay away from the center. I want to leave that moon bright white. So I'll continue adding the color till I achieve the tone I'm happy with. Just add a little bit more. And then I'm going to use a little bit of neon orange. It's the same brand of paint, Luminous by Holbein. Now I'm using a clean, dry mop brush, and I'm just kind of lightly dusting over right outside of that moon on part of the pink flowers. I'm not going to add as much of the orange as I did of the pink. I think I might even add a third color. A little bit more orange, and then I'm going to decide what color I'm going to use next. Just wipe a little bit of it off. Okay, I'm ready to come in with my third color now. I've chosen turquoise. I'm going to softly blend it around the corners and edges of the canvas. When it dries, it's going to look a little bit purple over top of the pink. We're just about finished this painting today. Comment below if you guys like this and would like to see more flower paintings in the future. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. See you next time.